all of your introductions. Hi, TJ Salaku from DC. Good evening. Hi, Neha. It would be great if you could all mention what you're doing as well. And for everyone joining us from YouTube and LinkedIn, great to have you guys with us. And we are just getting through, reading the introductions out loud. So please share your introductions in the comments as well. And we would be more than happy to see where you're from. Tell us your name, the city, and what you're currently doing. Hi, Mohammed from Lahore, working as a senior software engineer. That's great to know. Hello, Lavina. Hi, Sean from Singapore. Not a developer, but in banking, looking after finance governance. Hope to learn more about the world of full stack developer. Yes, so we are going to be talking about that, and that's great that you have joined us. A lot of other introductions coming in, but it's time for us to start. We have a lot to cover, so I'm gonna quickly get into the point. And as you all see on your screens right now, today's topic is how to become an AI-powered full stack developer in 2026. Your complete roadmap. We have a wonderful speaker join us today as well. I will introduce him shortly, but I can assure you that this is going to be a really informative session. And there's a lot in store for all of you. So without taking much of your time, I'm going to walk you all through the ground rules for today's webinar. So if you have any questions, I request all of you to share your questions in the Q&A box. We encourage all of your questions. The only problem we have is if you share your questions in the chat, there are chances that we might miss out on your messages. If you have questions, we will surely address them towards the end of the webinar. Another thing we want to highlight is the chat box. Please use it effectively and refrain from sharing any external links in the chat. Let's keep all the conversations related to today's topic. And finally, the question that we get asked the most, which is the certificate of participation. We will be launching a poll towards the end of the webinar. You can share your full name and you will receive your certificate, the recording, and the slide deck to your email IDs within the next 48 working hours. But for this, you will have to stay with us till the very end. And we do have a lot of content to cover. So I am really hoping to see all of you with us till the end of this webinar. And let me quickly walk you all through Simplilearn and what we do. But before that, a quick question for everyone who's joined us today. Are you joining us for the first time or have you attended webinars with us before? So please let me know in the chat. If it's your first time, you can, comment first. You can type first in the chat. If not, you can tell us how many times you've attended webinars with us before. First time, so many first timers. All I can see is first timers this time. Oh, there are a few saying second time, great. All right, that's very nice. So for everyone who's joining us for the second or the third time and have come back to our webinars, wonderful to see all of you here. I'm sure you would have gone through this segment and you know about Simplilearn. But for people who are joining us for the very first time, once again, welcome. We're really happy to see you here at Simplilearn webinars. I'll quickly brief you about what we do. At Simplilearn, our motive is to help learners transform their lives by empowering themselves through digital courses. And we have already helped 15 million plus learners across 150 plus countries to advance their careers. And we do these through global partnerships. So we have partnered with reputed universities and also industry partners like Google, Microsoft, and a lot more. So you can visit our website, take a look at all of the courses that we provide and all the universities that we partner with. And some of the numbers we wanted to highlight before starting this webinar is these are statistics that we got from our alumni members. So most of our learners have reported a 50% salary hike on completion of courses with us. And we have also been rated 4.8 out of 5 by most of our learners, which clearly talks about the kind of learning experience you can expect if you decide to join us, or even through our webinars. That has always been our focus. And we also have a graduation rate of 80%. So we have been consistently retaining our learners, not just in the first few weeks, but we have ensured that they complete the courses. So we have a wonderful team supporting them to do that. And we will talk about that towards the end of today's webinar. but I'm sure all of you are waiting to see what we are going to cover in the next 1 hour. So I'll take you all through today's agenda, right? So first, we are going to begin by understanding how AI is transforming software development and what the developer job market looks like in 2026. From there, we'll explore the skills companies are hiring for, the AI powered full stack roadmap, and the tools and workflows top developers are using today. We will also cover how to build AI applications, create a portfolio that stands out to recruiters, and end with a practical 90-day action plan so you leave with a clear roadmap for your learning journey. So, this is going to be a packed session with plenty of practical insights. So, I encourage everyone to stay to the very end. And with that, this is one of the most exciting parts for me. As a host for today's webinar, I'm very happy to introduce our guest speaker today for today's session. And we are joined by Ananth Kumar, a senior member of technical staff at Salesforce and a former Microsoft engineer with over a decade of experience building AI powered and cloud scaled applications. And what makes today's session especially valuable is that Ananth isn't someone who just talks about AI. He builds with it every single day, and his work actually spans across LLM integration, AI infrastructure, full stack development, and you can see all of that on the screen right now. He is also an active contributor to the developer community, and he has regularly been sharing practical insights on how developers can move beyond theory and actually use AI, because that is what we want this session to be about as well. So, if you have been wondering how top engineers are adapting to AI, what skills companies are really looking for, and how you can stay ahead in 2026 and beyond, you're about to hear all of this from someone who is doing it firsthand. So with that, it's my absolute pleasure to welcome Ananth Kumar to this session. So Ananth, welcome to the webinar. Wonderful to have you, and I'm sure everyone's waiting to hear more from you.
Thank you, Smita. Thank you for the lovely introduction. And I hope I'm so much excited for this webinar, and I hope the people who are attending are as excited. So, thank you for this. Can I share my screen from now onwards?
Sure. I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Okay, great. Okay, allow. Okay, I hope the screen is visible.
Yes.
Okay. So, hi, everyone. Good to see you all. I mean, virtually. Anyway, so before we start the session, may I know how many of you are using AI in every day of your life? Or even to begin with your day, what's the first thing that you do to start your work with AI? In any sense, it could be from a regular question to the past sessions, anything like that, which you start your day with. Um, Asking questions, I do a plan for the project, okay. Anything else like I just want to know like how your understanding interaction with AI on your day-to-day routine looks like, so that I can gravitate it towards in that direction. Okay, random questions and learning. Okay. Okay. So, okay, that's some ideas before I working, project, problem solving, direction, learning. Okay. Okay, great. I see that most of the things are around learning, understanding, and doing everything, right? So, what I can say is that's just a tip of an iceberg what the AI in today's world is capable about. And to mention that, as most of the people in nowadays are in a panic mode, the reason being is that here the AI has already been in place. It is performing much better than any developer. And in soon or in the near future, companies will replace developers with AI, and it is not a viable option to choose software development in the first place. All these things that are making everything more than what it is expected to be. So let me tell you one thing. So this is a recent Stack Overflow developer survey that I have came across recently. So it was published in 2025. And as you can see, the AI adoption rate has been increased from 75% to 84%. So beyond 80%, basically 84%, yeah, 76 to 84%. So that's a really good jump. So people are adopting to the AI on a day-to-day basis. But whereas if you see the trust in the code or the content that the AI is generating has been declined. So if you see initially the trust was around 40%, but whereas in the recent past it is 29%. So what does this metric actually give? By the way, this particular survey is the biggest footprint of developers across the world that Stack Overflow has gathered. So this is not just a metric which is confined to a certain region, but to the overall world. It is true that AI has come here to revolutionize how the software development has been in traditional sense, but the panic is more in companies than the employees who are working for it. The reason being is that the code that this particular AI is generating may not be true to an extent where it is sufficing the end goals that the companies had put up front. To be in a simple terms, to make it in a simple terms, what I want to say here is the AI code or AI content that the recent AIs are generating, whatever the content, trust in the content that they generate has been declined drastically. The reason being there are a lot of factors that come into AI, and AI is a black box. And this is coming from someone who had done a lot of research and published few patents as well. So AI is a black box because we can make how we can architect the way it thinks, but we cannot control how it thinks. So those are two differently opposite things. So we can make the AI to think, but it is impossible to control how it thinks. So that's the reason people are now in a panic mode with respect to companies about the code that the AI is generating. So where does the engineers come into picture in this? So the code that the AI generates needs to be evaluated. Rather than you being replaced by AI, you will be the enablers or evaluators of what the AI is doing behind the scenes. So let's say if the AI has produced some content or some context around your question, it may not be true every time because ChatGPT, Gemini, all these things, whenever they provide any solution or any documented proof for it, they will mention at the bottom saying that this is the AI generated, this may not be 100% accurate. So you are the one who needs to filter that and make sure right content is perceived. Same thing happens in a day-to-day development as well. You are the one who needs to take care of the code that the AI generates, make sure that there are no gaps in what it is generating, and tailor it according to the needs, because the code that it generates probably might be 60 to 70% fits the use case, but the remaining 30-40% needs to be handled by the developer, because that's the actual crux. That's where engineer actually comes into picture. Because initially we used to do everything from the scratch, and we used to have a lot of emphasis on coding rigorously, making sure that it is getting optimized. But for the first time in the history, that has been taken care. Our job is to make and informed decisions based on the conversations that we have with the AI. So the bottom line here is the key to win in 2026 isn't just using heavy AI or doing a lot of complicated stuff. It is rigorously verifying the outputs, taking informed decisions, making actual engineering strides in our day-to-day job to make ourselves apart from the larger bunch of audience who, as we know, are getting panicked with AI. So if you ask me, and it's my personal opinion that we are in a sweet spot where AI rise has started. It hasn't reached to the theoretical singularity that people are afraid of. So we are in a sweet spot where we are enablers of AI. We can use it to our own advantage and make it as a leverage to boost our career. So don't worry about AI taking up your job. It is here to give you promotions actually. Okay. So let's see. So with the global market, what is happening? As I have already mentioned, there is an 84% increase in the adoption than it was previously. And there are increase in the salaries that are provided to the employees because companies are used to treat basically AI as a silver bullet. But as of now, they have started to notice that it is not a silver bullet that can cure everything. They came into a realization that we need engineers more than ever to make sure that AI is not going haywire, creating ruckus, and making sure that the existing product that the company has been shipping for so long is not getting manipulated by some AI generated code. So we, as software engineers, will be the gatekeepers, will be the evaluators. We are the actual engineers who make sure that what needs to be shipped and what needs to be cut down fast. So here you can assume that you are more of a enabler, as I said, and also the filter and also the decision maker of what needs to be shipped and what needs to be withheld and what needs to be cut down. So companies have started realizing it more than enough. Like since this year beginning itself, I have been hearing some of the fine companies have replaced couple of the um, AI enabled teams with the actual engineers which they initially fired. Like this is completely coming from my personal sources. So I cannot vouch for anything, but I have seen the shift. I have been seeing the shift for the past couple of months as well. So the big research firms that we talk about and we hear about the news daily have realized this and they are shifting towards making sure that the engineers are there to guide the AI in the right format. Okay. Now, let's say, okay, Ananth, you are saying all these things, but how AI is shifting the job market? Because as there is already a panic set in the market that is taking the jobs and everything, and you have given a good clarification on it. But how does we can make use of AI to benefit out of from it from this particular sweet spot that you've spoken about? So let's go how it is happening. So in a traditional sense, in the near past, if you look at the evolution of a software, at the early 2018s, a full stack development means just a front end, back end, um, databases, and deployment to some extent. So the engineer knows these skills, like how to write the front end code using HTML, React, uh, any of the front end frameworks like Angular or anything, Vue.js, back end with Python, Java, C Sharp, Node. For back end, databases, relational, non-relational, SQL, Dynamo, any databases that you know, and deployments like Jenkins or any CI/CD pipelines to deploy your software. That's set for a full stack developer. But as you move forward into the timeline, you can see that in 2022, a cloud revolution has came into it. It was already in place, but it has taken much bigger leap where most of the developers needs to have the idea of what a cloud actually is, how to manage our applications or products in the cloud, how to provide licensings to certain consumers based on the cloud. And similarly, containers like Docker and Kubernetes came into picture, which made life more easier than it used to be. Because, for example, initially, if the databases, if we have to integrate with the databases, we have to deploy a database in some instance and we have to connect to it. We have to make sure that the connection is alive while we are making the calls and everything. But with Kubernetes and everything, Docker, we can make sure that an image is downloaded into a Docker and it is running on our local. We can do all the testings and everything, just like how it performs in the prod. And we can deploy it into a Kubernetes pod and see how the cross communication is happening and everything. So anyway, that's a cloud area. So post 2022, as OpenAI has released ChatGPT and eventually Claude and Google, Microsoft has provided their AI agents as well. It comes an agentic era in 2026. For a full stack developer, we need skills in addition to all this, which he or she possesses already. They need to have an idea of what are LLMs, what are vector DBs, what is RAG pipeline, what are MCPs. So these are initially used to be some like far-fetched concepts that only very little amount of people would know, predominantly who are in research space and everything. But as it came into mainstream, as it has entered into the contemporary software development arena, it happens to be our responsibility to keep ourselves updated, else go dormant. Because time and tide waits for no one, right? Similarly, this particular software arena is where we need to keep ourselves updated. We need to make sure we are on track with the latest technologies that is coming into picture and how useful it is to our day-to-day needs in development and so forth and so forth for the products as well. So we have come a long way from front-end, back-end database deployments, all the way to AI-based product development. So I'll talk more about it in the next slides, like how we will be going forward and how AI has shaped the traditional software development into much easier and much gamey way. So let's go ahead and see. Okay. And before I jump ahead, are there any questions, Shweta, that I can pick up?
Yeah, so there is one question. What is the most cost effect of AI if people stop paying DevOps to build a website for them and start using AI to build it up for themselves?
Okay. Like I got the last sentence. Can you reiterate
I
the
think this
first one?
person is trying to ask what is the effect of AI if what is the impact of AI in this field?
Mhm.
If people stop paying DevOps to build a website for them and start so basically, what if people just start using AI to build everything for themselves? Will it
Mhm.
affect software developers? I think that's what the question is.
Okay. So a single person using AI can develop the entire website, is what he's asking, right? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, this type of questions actually interests me. So, yeah. So, what I can say is writing code, which AI is doing pretty good in the recent times, is just the 20 to 80% in the entire software development process. Let's say in my current scenario, if we have a product development lifecycle for 4 months, we develop or implement code just for 3 to 4 weeks. That's it. The rest of the time it actually goes into the engineering tasks like what are the trade-offs. Let's take an example of one of our friend has posted. Like if we are building a website, we need to uh, get to a position of who are the end users, what are the customers who are targeting to enter into this website. If it is an e-commerce website, what is the region that we are targeting for, or what kind of a customer base that you are targeting this e-commerce website is actually about, and how effectively it needs to be served. What are the um, functional and non-functional metrics, like how much should be the wait time if there is a lag, how it needs to be distributed across the globe. And by the way, if it is just a regional specific or it is scaled globally beyond anything like that. So all these things comes into picture, and there is a lot of design that goes into like what kind of databases that we'll be using, how we will be updating the inventory, how frequent these things catch up on. So all of these things AI cannot alone solve it. So that's where the engineering interaction comes into picture. So in traditional software development, if we have to go back to the roots, there is a big chunk of time spent for designing, understanding the requirements, making sure that everything is in place and all the sort of things are being grounded to reality such that all the goals can be accomplished within the requirements arena. So the bottom line is once everything is set by an engineer, then the coding picture comes into place. Once the development is done, then it will go into life. So everything that is like the pre-productive work that the engineer goes into before handing the AI to write the code. Because AI also need to know what to write the code. If we just ask it to write a website, yeah, it will create a website. If we reiterate a bit saying that it's an e-commerce website resembling Amazon or eBay, something like that, okay, it will create it. But that's just a script kiddie code. That means one who learns for the first time the web development, these people write the code in that way because they are not aware of the engineering principles that go into, they are not aware of the patterns that goes into, they are not aware of the traffic constraints, scalings, and everything. So that's our job. So this actually makes me wonder that we have shifted from a traditional coders to a proper engineers now. We think more in terms of engineering scale, productivity, productivity of the particular product, and scalability. So that's where actually engineers come into picture. Yeah, Shweta, did I answer the question or any feedback on this?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think you have answered. There are more questions coming in. I think we can take a few towards the end at the Q&A.
sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, so as I said, like traditionally there were only few skills that one needs to be accompanied with, and that's how the hiring also used to be. But nowadays, hiring has changed, not changed, like it has taken a drastic shift from understanding not just the data structures, algorithms, design patterns, but also how the person is thinking in terms of system level thinking, how he or she is adapted towards system level thinking. Let's say if I give a problem to that person, how they are thinking from ground up, from first principles, how they're able to conceptualize the product in their mind so that it can be clearly conveyed to the user, to the AI here. So, as you know, initially it used to be checking how much expertise you have with respect to language, if it's something related to language with interview, how efficient you are with the DSA and algorithms, and how much experience that you carry and what projects that you have previously worked on, how much clarity you have on that. So basically, the 3 rounds of the interviews covers all these sort of things. But as we have shifted in the recent times, the interviews had been shifted towards how you effectively collaborate with AI by conveying your idea and making sure that the end product is something that you have imagined. Like the difference in your imagination and the product that the AI has generated. How much gap is there? If the gap is huge, then either you're not conveying or collaborating with the AI properly, or there is some gap in your understanding of the problem. So that's where the interviewers are looking for, like how better you are conveying to the AI and how better you are collaborating with it. Because that is what the day-to-day work of a software engineer has turned out to be. In addition to this, they are also checking how much of expertise you have about the skills that we have spoken in the last slide. Do you have a portfolio of a full stack projects with an AI integration or an AI feature enabled to make sure that you are on par with the latest skills or not? So they're more into how you have built the products rather than how effectively you are able to reverse a binary search tree. They wanted to see how the product thinking that you have developed over the years. In addition to that, how you have picked up the AI skills in that tenure. So all these things make up a large chunk of the interview process. As interviewers are more going towards a conversation basis, so you should be have a clear thinking, good understanding of the problem, and thirdly, have a good portfolio with full stack projects if you are applying for a full stack developer with an AI integration layers. That being said, let's jump on to how to achieve all these things in our roadmap. So in a full stack arena, there are five connected layers. So the front end, back end database, which we already know. The front end is what the user sees. For example, let's take a real-time example of Amazon. So everything that you see on Amazon website, the search bar, the item lists, the animations, everything is a UI, which is built either through React, TypeScript, or Next.js or Vue.js, whichever technology they have chosen to build it. So that is the front end. Now comes the back end. So back end is a very interesting concept. So back end is like a motor functionality in our body. Like we move our hands, we move our legs, head, and everything, right? Similarly, backend is something which connects this functionality with front end. So whenever you click on a certain item, we are conveying the Amazon website saying that I have clicked this item, show me this. So we are asking the Amazon to show the item. That's where the backend calls goes into. So the backend request goes to the server. It will fetch the details of that particular item and it will again show you on the front end. So backend is like a communicator between the user and the data that particular website holds. Okay. And database. As I said, database is a storage layer. It basically holds the entire data of Amazon's warehouse. So it will show you all the required things on the front page and it will show you what you have asked for as well and store your past orders, wish lists, all the product details and everything. So it is basically a storage area for the entire website. And next comes the cloud and DevOps part. So this is a part where, so you have the product. Let's say you have built an Amazon website in your laptop. Now you have to make it public. You have to put it in some pedestal so that other people can come and use it. Okay. So that's where the cloud and DevOps comes into picture. So you will be deploying your product into a public arena where people can use it and you will be monitoring their usage. And based on the usage and the feedback that you get, you will be again reiterating those changes and making sure that it gets more people traction. So that's where this hosting hosting of your products comes into picture. And CI/CD is continuous integration and continuous development, which is nothing but you will be taking the feedback from the users, or you will be checking the traffic, which is comes under the monitoring, all these things, and you will see how the traffic to this particular website. Traffic here means number of people visiting the website in a given amount of time. So if the traffic is huge, you have to clone that particular product into different instances and make sure that the people are routing to that particular instance rather than getting stuck at one. So all this comes under the cloud and DevOps arena. And comes the final and the latest interesting layer, AI layer. So as of now, we have everything. We have the product, we have deployed it, users are using it, we are getting good traction, and we are updating it on a daily basis based on the feedback, or not in the daily or quarterly basis based on the feedback and everything. Everything is good. But why AI is necessary in this space now? That's where the actual magic happens, which Amazon has been using for since it was a bookstore. If you go back into a YouTube and watch Jeff Bezos talking about recommending books to users, you will see he talking with some news reporter how Amazon is using AI to recommend books so that people will purchase those things based on their past orders. So most of the big companies that you heard about are using AI in one way or the other. It's just that we aren't aware of it of lately. So yeah, in this AI layer, as you see, have you ever wondered how it is able to show me the products which I thought of buying or which I had in my consciousness of looking into in one way or the other, or something that you thought of buying initially and you put it in the cart, but it got expired and or it got out of stock but similar and a better product has been shown on your homepage. Like whenever you open any particular item, if you go down, you will be finding items which are related to these things which you might need helpful. And also, if you see when you go to the reviews page, if, I don't know if you have observed or not, rather than reading all the reviews, now Amazon has accumulated all the reviews and it has posted a short review of saying customers are finding this particular item, this quality is good, or this quality seems to be not up to the mark for the price that it has paid. So, have you ever wondered how it is happening in the first place? Because this is something that happens automatically, and no engineer has coded all these things. So that's where the AI layer comes in. So Amazon has deployed a lot of AI models, which will recommend you the products, which will summarize your text, summarize the reviews, and provide you an accurate gist of what people are thinking about. It will provide you best items based on your purchase history. All these sort of things are happening because there are a lot of AI models working on the background every day to give you a best user experience. Like there are other websites also, right? For e-commerce. Why aren't you going to those websites, but just for Amazon every day? That's because Amazon has addressed something which other websites in the initial days have ignored, which is putting the customer first, which is also the Amazon's one of the core principles. The reason being they are being customer friend company and using AI, due to which they have positioned themselves as the market leaders. And of lately, the companies have identified this and they have also adapted AI and moving towards that arena to make themselves leaders in their own arenas. Okay. So this is what the AI full stack comes under. Now comes, okay, Ananth, you have spoken about AI things, but there seems to be a lot of buzzwords. There seems to be a lot of things that are happening. Why it is all needed in the first place? Like, what is the actual thing that we have to talk about? What is the thing that is needed for an engineer who is looking into software development or trying to move into software development and make themselves use AI and make it more powerful? So these are the main things that you have to understand before you jump in to use AI. First one is prompt engineering. I'll try to cover one-liners to each in a simpler terms. Prompt engineering is how accurately you are conveying your idea to the LLM model or to the AI to make sure you get your desired output. So that's where prompt engineering comes into picture. As I said, if you are clear at your thinking, your prompts will be as clear as it is. And comes LLM API integration. LLMs, we have been hearing them about last 2 to 3 years, we have been hearing about a lot. So what are these LLMs? Like we have Claude, OpenAI, and Gemini. All these are LLMs that we have in place. So you can integrate your app to get a summarized view. I'm sorry. So yeah, you can integrate these LLMs. Like you don't have to build your own LLM from ground up. You can integrate to the existing LLMs to make use of them. Something like, let's say, if you have integrated a Claude LLM into your app, which basically handles all the customer queries. If you have such use case, you can use the LLM API integration or any other use case which finds some conversational basis. So for that, LLM API integration is useful. AI agents. Agents are something like workers for you. Like they are your subordinates and you can use them to do all the autonomous cut works in a detailed way. Like you can fan out agents and ask them to collect all the required details on a day-to-day basis such that you will have accurate information about your app. Let's say you can create AI agent to um, gather feedback from consumers on a fortnightly or a monthly basis and refine it through some LLM API integration and give you the summary. So these AI agents will take care of all those things. So that is one use case that you can think of. AI agents are basically a small bots. And comes vector database. So vector database is an interesting concept here. I can talk hours for this. But anyway, so vector databases is something where you will be storing the data, just like how we have our databases, traditional databases. Vector databases are more of tailored towards AI enablement phase, because this particular databases are n-dimensional databases where you can dump all your records. It could be PDFs, it could be doc files, it could be website URLs, it could be markdown files, anything that you can dump into this database. And this database will beautifully orchestrate the data in a way that all the related items are close to each other, and it weaves a pattern inherently such that any query that you make will be searched across this, and you will be getting the accurate information rather than just putting some random words put together and giving you. So vector databases are something which provides that particular flexibility of making sure that the AI is grounded. Grounded here means it is sticking to the reality, but not hallucinating or hallucinate, like making data or making stuff out of thin air. Okay, you'll be hearing a lot of hallucinating, grounding, all these words when you jump into the AI arena, actually. So that is with the vector databases. It's a beautiful concept, actually. And comes a RAG architecture. So we have AI agents, which will get the data. We have vector databases, which will store the data. We have LLM APIs, which will summarize the data that we give it. But if you observe, there is a gap here. Everything is dealing with the data, but none of these are actually fetching or tailoring the data to our need. That's where RAG architecture comes into place. So this RAG architecture is making sure how our AI apps use our data. So as I said, as the AI agents gather that particular feedback from customers, RAG architecture will make sure it is modeled in such a way that it is stored in a vector database and retrieved back in a way that it is easier for the user to convey in a context based, like it is sticking to the ground reality, and addressing the user rather than just giving everything just outright. So as you have seen, retrieval augmented generation. So it retrieves the data, it will augment it based on the context that we have provided, and it will generate based on that. For example, let's say we have customer data a lot, and we want to know the negative reviews of the customer. Like what are the major amount of negative reviews that we got for our product. In that sense, this retrieval augment generation will do, it will weave through all the feedback. It will search for the negative words, which are, it will search for the negative words and its synonyms as well. And these synonyms are taken care by vector database, because all these words will be close to each other in the vector database. And it will make sure that it generates a response which is in line with what the user has asked about. So that's where the RAG architecture comes in. Now, all these things are the major keywords that we have been hearing of lately. And then comes an AI product development, where all the development of the code, all the development comes into a place where we will use AI as a extension rather than replacement to use all these concepts, design our product to our requirements, and ship them. So the major changes that you have been seeing in the recent past have been using all these concepts by developing a product, using these concepts and developing a product with them and shipping to the customers. So this is what an actual important concepts that one has to know about when they are jumping into the AI development. Okay. Now comes how developers actually use AI. Okay, top developers. Okay, top developers actually use AI. So yeah, I guess most of you guys know about most of these things. So I guess you people have more expertise in exploring each and everything, because I hardly used very native versions of these in the earlier stage for research purposes. And of lately, I have been stuck with only just a couple of them for both personal and professional reasons. So yeah, so GitHub Copilot, it's a pair programmer. We have been using it, like most of the people has been using it in the VS Code, and it is coming as an additional feature in the Windows application. If I'm not wrong, they have released it last year. Like I'm not sure about the beta. I'm sure about the beta, but not sure about the public version. And then comes Cursor. It's an AI first IDE that a lot of people know, and they have been using it since its inception and everything. So all these what do you call all these tools that you see over here are one way or the other doing a lot of work which is generally avoided by senior engineers, because it is better to spend their time more in the designing development and discussion phase, rather than just sitting in front of the computer and writing millions of lines of code, testing it across multiple environments and getting the results. So all these things are used in one way or other based on the requirement on a day-to-day basis. So this is something like you can pick up any one or two of these items and you can start with that and make sure you have attained certain level of expertise, not expertise at least, understanding such that uh, how the tool is behaving to certain things that you have posted on. From there, you can generalize for the other tools as well. So underlying everything is using AI. It's just that you need to build that muzzle of understanding on how you convey your thought process to the AI. Okay, moving on. Yeah, as you can see, there are a lot of applications that we have uh, using AI on a day-to-day life. But yeah, these are quite few patterns that one has to know. AI chatbots, we use them in everyday life. Like if the Swiggy order is delayed or if it is not reaching on time, we'll directly call the customer. We'll directly, initially, we used to call the customer service and talk to them. But now it is more of like we are chatting with the chatbot, and the chatbot is retrieving the data about the delivery partner, and it is giving you all the information that is needed. And it is, if you are pushing it more, it is going, going a step forward. I'm sorry, going a step forward, and sometimes it provides you coupons as well. But I haven't ever got it. But some of the people are claiming that they are able to get some coupons from Swiggy. I'm not sure. I have to test it still. And semantic search, sorry, smart search, which uses semantic search underneath. So the documents that you see, like most of the companies in today's world are gravitating towards AI, but they are not confident enough to give their what do you call confidential documents to some public AI. So for that reason, they are productizing or internalizing the AI to themselves and making sure that they provide the documents such that the AI does search on only those things and give the feedback. And the smart search, it has been used across multiple arenas as well. Like Google is one good example where it will index the pages and provide you the recommended links based on your past usage. And AI recommendations. As I said, AI recommendations in the Amazon, AI recommendations in Netflix, Prime, everything, or every OTT platform, uses AI recommendations, um, shopping websites. All of these are built upon AI recommendation engine. And I myself has also built an AI recommendation engine for which I know how important a recommendation engine is really for any given product, because everyone wants to personalize the experience, and that can be only possible through a recommendation engine lying underneath the hood. So a really good concept, a really good use case that AI has provided to us. And similarly, AI assistants, as I said, multiple assistants can fan out and do the all the skirt work that you need. It could be for research, it could be for scoping, it could be for taking informed decisions with all the data that you have. So AI assistants, big shout out to them. And in general, the generative experiences like writing a email used to be like a tedious work initially. Now what I generally do is I just give the context of what the conversation have been, and I ask it to generate an email, and it writes the email better than what I do. So that is one thing. And image generation, like you can restore images like the old images of your grandfathers or grandmothers, which initially used to take a lot of Photoshop work, but now it's just synthesizing the image and generating it in a new format. And you can generate some funky images as well. So all in good phase. So that is something like there are all these patterns that we use in our daily life, knowingly or unknowingly, but these play a major role in our day-to-day life as AI applications. Okay, moving on. Yeah, so this is a question to you people. If you could add one AI-powered feature to your current project or some dream project, what it would be? Since we have spoken about the applications, we have spoken about the concepts, uh, combining those two things or combining all of these things and coming up with your own, if you could have one particular feature which you think can be acted as a revolutionized, or it cannot be revolutionized, it could be something that adds a affinity to the project, what it would be. Let's see. Automation AI agent, yeah, it's really useful. ACD to, yeah, actually I had built that incident management tool using AI in 2018, I guess, for some friend. Yeah. So yeah, that's a really good application. I truly appreciate that. Anything else, guys? Anything that you can think on top of your mind? Self-healing tools for expats. Okay, yeah, that's really cool. And blockchain, yeah, we can use blockchains for there are a few apps that are coming in for land deeds, for restricted communications as well. For in that we can use AI. True, true. And blockchain has a really good application in government arena. If Indian government allows it, it's a really good arena that we can use AI and blockchain there. Okay, anything? Education portals. Yeah, we can recommend based on the performance of the student. We can recommend the courses either to notch it up or notch it down. We can do that, right? Analyzing or organizing files and folders. Yeah, that's a pretty good use case. Like, I'm sorry, that's a pretty good use case, correct? Automated optimization AI to make apps fast and secure. Yeah, we can find blockers. We can check the memory leaks. We can profile each individual module to check that. That's a really good use case. Yeah. Putting governance in code, which will validate not only vulnerabilities, but validate the control. Okay. That's a very good thing. It's a very new perspective also. Appreciate it. That's right. Like what that we call is guardrails basically in the general terms. But yeah, that's one good thing we can see. Cannot see the chats. Shweta, any answers from YouTube comments as well?
No, I'll just quickly check and let you know. 1 minute.
Okay, sure. Sorry guys, my throat is a bit odd today. Don't know the reason. Okay, lately we built NutriPlan app. Okay. So yeah, and I'm not sure, like I'm just guessing it from the name. I guess it's a nutrition-based diet suggestion or a nutrition diet planning app, I guess. So based on like there are a lot of personalizations that can be done for that particular app. I think AI can help a lot in that arena. Okay. Great, great. Okay. I think in the interest of time, let's move ahead. Okay. So we have learned about how it has evolved. We have learned about how it is useful. We have learned about how it is applied. Now we need to see how it can beneficial to us as engineers. So this is something that will give the X factor that recruiters generally see in. Because if someone asks me to refer as well, I would generally ask them in my friends itself. I'll ask them, okay, buddy, what is the X factor that you're bringing to this particular job that I can watch for you? So this particular portfolio gives you that particular X factor. Because if you see, out of the 5 attributes listed in this pyramid, I could hardly see 1 or 2 things that are presented in the resumes of people from top tier institutes in India. One, max 3. 5 is out of the question. I can vouch for that. Like I have never seen all these 5 things in a top tier resume when I was recruiting for Microsoft or when I was handling some referrals for my current company. In my entire career, I would say I haven't seen any of the resume containing all these 5 attributes in a single resume. So, what makes you to have this particular portfolio giving an edge is that it establishes you as a candidate who is well versed with the traditional software development, who understands how the code works end to end. Because you are not just a full front end developer or a back end developer or a middleware or DevOps guy. You have the entire knowledge of from start to end. So, full stack app gives you that. You have AI integrated feature. That means you have found a use case. You have started to think from the realms of AI, how it can be useful in my particular product. So having an AI integrated feature will give you that extra boost. RAG application. RAG is something that I haven't seen in any resume, frankly speaking. People haven't spoken about the RAG in their resumes anytime. At least I haven't got any resumes with this. So because it looks like a hefty work, it looks like a humongous thing that only people having experience in AI and rest of the things can do. But that's completely wrong. So having a RAG application, like having a document, like let's say if you have an application which have multiple reports, let's say stock reports for the past couple of fiscal years, and it is giving you prediction based on the documents that you have and giving you some projections. And this has actually been done in some of the hedge funds that my friends are working, and they have shared this intimate knowledge with me because there is a huge amount of data that is structured but not collaborated across different cores. If they could build some RAG pipeline that could ensemble all these things into one place and provide provide a refined context or a refined summary about the options, features, all of the things that the hedge fund is handling, that would be like an entire team is working just to build that RAG pipeline since last 6 months. So having an interest in building a RAG pipeline from scratch will give you a lot of edge for getting your resume shortlisted. And coming to the fourth point, AI agent project. You have built a product, you have integrated the feature, AI agent feature, and you have a RAG application as well into it. Now, if you could have an agent into it, like someone who is working behind the scenes for you through the app, that is something that actually gives you an edge as well. Like you have built something which could think on its own based on some integrations that you have built on it. So it gives you an extra edge. Okay, this guy is someone, or this person is someone who is thinking for long term. Like putting up an AI agent into the product or coming up with an AI agent use case is something which companies are striving to go forward with. If you could express that skill and put it in place, that will definitely give you an edge to move forward. In addition to all this, having an open source contribution, it doesn't have to be a big thing like contributing to Linux Foundation or its distros, or contributing to Mozilla or any of the open source things. It can be small contributions, something like adding few test cases to an existing feature for Mozilla SpiderMonkey repos, adding new documentation or updating the documentation. You can start small, basically. What I'm saying is you don't have to start with what you have started for open source contribution, but you can start small. You can understand the culture, how it is working, and you can ramp up from there. Because actual software development, if you want to get the taste of actual software development, you have to start with open source contributions, because I myself have done the open source contributions a lot. And I had built that muscle of software development from the core using these things. Because having all these things will not only give you an edge, but also puts you in a space where it will accelerate your career to an extent that you have never thought about. You might, like, whenever any requirement comes in, if you have understanding the system level thinking and understand the product in one way, then you know where it needs to be done, how it can be improved up much better, what are the bottlenecks that it might face. All these things will be done in your head. Once this particular understanding is clear, you can go ahead and start doing the product in collaboration with an AI agent and get the code out, test it for yourself, make some iterations, present it to the audience, and ship it. And the cycle continues. So it becomes like a second hand. It doesn't have to be a strenuous process like as it used to be. All the thing that you thought was cut work is handled by AI now. Only thing that you are a decision maker, an enabler of AI, which makes sure that everything is in place. Okay. Now, optimizing your digital presence. As I said, I think, one second, I think we are missing a slide between. It's fine. Shweta, is this slide yours?
No, actually, we can skip this slide and move on to the next one, the 90-day plan, because now we are almost on time. It's already 9. So,
Okay, sure. So, yeah. Shweta, you want to take from here?
yeah, sure. I'll just quickly share my screen. Would that be
Sure.
okay?
Yeah.
All right, so I hope my screen is visible to all of you. Along with this webinar, right now, Ananth has given you a very good idea of what your career could look like, how to get into this field, everything that you really need to know. So we have a 90-day AI-powered action plan specifically for you, and we will be sharing this with along with the slide deck with all of you. All you will have to do is share your responses in the poll, which will be shared very shortly with all of you. And this is exactly what you can do in the next 90 days to transition into this field. So first 30 days could be your foundation sprint. Days 31 to 60 would be stack plus AI integration, and days 61 to 90 would be portfolio plus career launch. So if you want to, take a better look at this, we will share the slide deck with you. In the interest of time, I will have to move on and talk to you guys about a very important question that was asked by a lot of audience about how they can possibly transition into this field and how to become a full stack developer, the learning pathway. So here is where we have been talking about a course that we are providing at Simplilearn, and that is Simplilearn's AI-powered full stack developer program. And this program is actually in collaboration with Microsoft Azure, which means that the curriculum is designed with real industry expectations, not just academic concepts. And that's important because companies today are hiring for developers who can actually build and deploy applications, just like how Ananth was explaining just some time back about how you need to be able to apply all of these concepts. So that is something that we really focus on in this program. And I also saw a few questions from a few of you asking how you can transition into this field. This is open to everybody. You do not need a coding background, and this is a 9-month course. So this could be an opening for all of you to actually get into this field. And one of the other big advantages here is that this is a project focused learning approach. So you are not just going to be watching tutorials, and you will be working on capstone projects and 60 plus hands-on projects across different industries. So that is the kind of practical exposure that is going to differentiate you from everybody else in the market. Another key area is the portfolio building approach, like which I mentioned, and resumes alone today are not enough. And we already just covered a slide where Ananth was mentioning 5 points that could be of an advantage to you when appearing for a job interview. And we will ensure that these are the skills that you build throughout the course. And one of the most relevant aspects of today's hiring is that AI powered development skills. So that is a module that we will be covering throughout, and our emphasis is on AI. So this is a kind of course that can get you hired much more easily in your dream job. And you will also work with tools like ChatGPT, GitHub Copilot, Code Whisperer, Hugging Face, which are all becoming increasingly important. And companies have this expectation, right? You need to have all of these skills. So this is like a complete comprehensive package. So overall, the goal of the program is not just to teach you coding, it is to help learners become industry ready full stack developers, and our team will help you do that. So if you are thinking about the learning path and what is covered, so this is the overall learning path. And what I really like here is that it is designed in a very logical, industry relevant progression. So you are going to start with fundamentals of front end development and core programming concepts. Then gradually you will move into React, backend development with Node and Express databases, with DSA, which are all essential skills for modern full stack roles. But what really makes this stand out is the integration of generative AI, which I just spoke about throughout your entire journey. So, from the AI fundamentals aspect to using generative AI for coding optimization and even for software development, software testing, AI is covered throughout. And finally, everything comes together with this capstone project, and this is where you will apply your learning in real world project environment. So overall, this is not just teaching isolated technologies, it's helping learners build the complete modern full stack developer skill set that will set you apart. And if you would like to know what comes under each of these topics, you can go to our website and take a look at the course. So you will get an in-depth look at the curriculum. I'm just trying to cover the major aspects as fast as I can during this webinar. So here are the skills and tools that will be covered as a part of this program. Everything that we spoke about in the previous slides that Ananth briefed you about, that is what we will be covering. So I'm not going to read these out. You can go to our website, take a look at it, and then we also have a QR code in the coming slides. So you can scan the QR to go to the course page. And if when it comes to the program investment, the course fee for Indian learners is 53,999 rupees. You have the option to pay this in installments as low as 2,418 rupees per month. And for US learners, you have the course fee is $1,449, and you also have the option to pay this in installments as low as $125 per month. Think of this as a course investment. This is a 9-month course. So this could be your transitioning phase, right? So you could think about this and maybe take a call. If you're joining us from any other place and would like to know the course fee for your specific currency, when you visit the course page, you will be the course fee will reflect as per your country's currency. So this is a QR code. You can scan this QR, and this will take you to the course page. Please take a look at the course, the details, and think about it. We are very confident about the kind of learning experience that we provide. So if you are interested and if you would like to know more, I will quickly launch a poll. Please click on a yes, and our learning advisors will reach out to you and help you with all of your questions. Also, because we didn't get much time to talk about the course during this webinar, so I'm just gonna quickly share the poll. Yes, so please go ahead and share your responses. We have a wonderful team of experts who can help you with this, and we will be more than happy to have you all join us as well. I can see a few comments saying he was teaching us really well. Yes, it was a wonderful session. Unfortunately, we didn't have a lot more time to cover a lot more topics, but we will ensure that we, have many more sessions like these. And we had to talk about the course. So, yes. All right, so I'm gonna keep this open. In the meantime, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask your questions. If there are any questions which are not addressed yet, I will pass this on to Ananth. So if you guys have anything else you would want Ananth to answer, please share your questions. Mm, Yeah, so Ananth, there is one question from Kanatha. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. So she's asking if AI can generate code, what skills will make a developer irreplaceable in the next 5 years? You did cover these points, but if you have anything additional to let her know, that would be great.
Just to reiterate what I have covered, it is developing the system level thinking first, like how from ground up the product is built and how it is, what do you call it, how it is in place in the large clockwork. And secondly, you have to know the design, how the software is designed, basically the design principles, making sure that the um, what do you call, how do I put it in simpler terms? I'm thinking. Yeah. So off lately, you being a normal engineer is not acceptable because I'm coming from a recent use case that I have encountered, that AI is using learning code based on multiple repos, which are very much refined and very much optimized. So the code that it is generating, you have to be in a place to understand it, to correct it, and make take an informed decision on it. So imagine how efficient you have to be on top of that. So you have to be a judge of the code that the AI has produced. So you have to know the basics, foundations to the core, to the point. There is no question in that. You have to know what are the patterns that could be useful. You have to know the level of expertise that you could build on software development using the principles that are laid down in the foundation. So all these things, apart from coding, is what makes you an actual engineer. So build those skills, build your problem solving muscle, build your understanding capability of complex topics, build your code reading skills, because that is also one of the major skill that you can develop during the open source contributions, because I have done the same for myself as well. Reading others' code is where you will be spending 90% of your software development time in large scale companies to startups, as you will be maintaining the code most of the time. So you have to understand the code. So all these skills combined with an AI in your back pocket, you will be irreplaceable even in your 70s and 80s as well. So they won't ask you to retire. They would ask you to be a consultant at least and pay you hefty amounts, is what I'm imagining, like I'm predicting for the future. So far, 90% of my guesses are true. I hope this doesn't fall in the 10% criteria category. Sorry. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Anand. That was a great response, and I hope that answers your question. With that, I'm going to quickly end this poll, and I see a lot of questions about the certificates. So, for everyone who's asking, I'm launching the certificate poll right now. All you will have to do is fill up your full name, and we have already captured your email ID, so you will be receiving the certificates to your mentioned email ID. So, ensure that you share your full name as you want in your certificate, and you will be receiving this in the next 48 working hours. If you have not seen the poll, if you're not able to give your responses, you can always write to us at webinars@simplilearn.net. I'm just sharing our mail ID in the chat as well. So you can write to us, and we will share, our team will share your certificates, the recording, and the slide deck to all of you. If you have missed the poll, if you have entered your details in the poll, please do not write an email again for that. In the meantime, we have some exciting news for all of you. We have also launched our Buildathon series. And with that, our next topic that we will be covering is reclaim 10 hours of your week with AI automation. And this will be happening this Saturday, which is 4th of July, And Rishi is a wonderful speaker, and he will be leading this 4-hour workshop with us. So this is somewhere where you can come learn live with us. You will be building with us. A lot of aspects will be covered. So please feel free to scan this QR. This will take you to the landing page where you see all the details about the upcoming webinar. See if this is something that you would be interested in, and we would be more than happy to have you with us for all of our sessions as well. So with that, I'm gonna quickly end this certificate poll. In case you have missed out, please do not worry. You can write to us, and we will surely respond to all of your queries over email as well. So with that, we have come to the end of today's session. It was a wonderful session, Ananth. I absolutely loved having you as a guest speaker, and we got such wonderful responses from the audience as well. And I'm sure they wanted to learn more from you, but again, unfortunately, in the interest of time, we had to wrap it up. So before we conclude, any advice or anything you would want to leave with our audience?
Yeah. So one thing I want to convey is always keep yourself updated if you want to stick in the software world, because it is changing very rapidly. And so only thing that will make us afloat and make us valuable in this market is make yourself updated and make your understanding clear. Because going forward, coding becomes easier, but talking or conveying your ideas to that AI or to any other person communicating in the software industry is a very crucial skill that one has to develop. So two things is make yourself updated to all the latest things and take information in it, and make sure your ideas are conveyed as simple as possible. So yeah, that's it.
That was great advice. Thank you so much once again for joining us. And also, thank you all for staying back till the end. You guys were a wonderful audience. If you guys have any topics you want us to cover, if you have any feedback or suggestions, please feel free to write to us. And I really hope to see all of you in our upcoming webinar. So, with that, I'm going to end this. I hope you all have a wonderful evening ahead. Thank you, Ananth. It was great
Thank
having
you. Thank you. It was great. Thank you. Thank you all.
you.
Thank you for the wonderful questions and all the interactions that I had